So, you've just decided that you want to get into filmmaking. Great, awesome. Now you're wondering, what kind of camera should I buy? Well, you're in luck because that's what we're going to be going over today. Roll that intro. Hey, what's up? My name is Erickson. I'm a cinematographer here on YouTube. I've shot countless amount of video work. On this channel, I talk about video production stuff. So, if you're into that kind of line of work, please consider subscribing. Anyway, today's topic is what kind of camera should you buy as a beginner filmmaker? Alright, let's get into it. But, to be honest with you, if you're a beginner filmmaker, like meaning you haven't shot any video work at all, I recommend you start shooting on your phone before spending a whole bunch of money on a new camera. When you really want to start taking it seriously and you want to start getting paid, then I recommend you start investing or looking into a brand new camera. However, the camera that you do want to get highly depends on what exactly you're going to be shooting. Are you going to be doing more like running gun filmmaking, like music videos, traveling, or sports stuff, where the more compact the camera is, the better? Or are you going to be shooting more corporate interview style videos, where quality and presentation matters, because that plays a really big role in what your starter camera is going to be. Alright, we're going to start this list off with the least expensive camera, but keep in mind that this is just my opinion and you should be doing more research than just this video on what kind of camera you should buy, because this is a big decision. Alright, my first camera recommendation is the Canon 5D Mark II. This camera was released in September of 2008. So it's a pretty old camera. It was discontinued in December of 2012. It's a full frame camera, meaning the sensor size is 36 by 24 millimeters. And it has 21 megapixels, meaning you'll get a pretty good image out of this camera. The build quality of this camera is pretty solid. I wouldn't recommend dropping it from extreme heights though, but I guarantee it's going to survive a drop or two. It feels great in the hands. It's mainly a photography camera, so most of the features are photography oriented, but you could shoot pretty good video with this camera. It has decent battery life, but as always, I recommend you buy an extra battery just in case. I recommend that you click the link that I have up here, because as of 2020, you can unlock a few new features with this camera, like HDR, dual ISO, and the ability to shoot in RAW. And that's just mind-blowing to me because those features are mainly found in higher quality cameras. And you could pick this camera up as of recording this video for only $500. I most definitely recommend the 5D Mark II as your beginner camera. I mean, great performance for an affordable price. Come on now. Alright, next up on the list is the Panasonic GH5. This camera sensor is a micro four thirds camera, meaning that the sensor size is way smaller than the 5D Mark II. However, that doesn't mean that the quality is lower. The GH5 could actually shoot up to 5K at 30 frames per second. That's just freaking crazy for its price point of only under $1,300. Released January of 2015, the GH5 is by far one of the greatest cameras ever made. The GH5 in 2020 is still being used for high-end video work. The 4K on this camera is just unreal, sharp and clear. Hey, that rhymed. The colors are great, and I just heard that it got a new update for its autofocus, making this a perfect all-around camera with very little flaws. Great for music videos, weddings, and just about anything you want to shoot. The build quality on this camera, great. But just like the 5D Mark II, I wouldn't recommend dropping it on a regular basis. Take care of your goddamn camera. It has a flappy screen, so if you want to get into filmmaking yourself down the line, the GH5 will be perfect for that, unlike the 5D Mark II that does not have a flip-out screen, or a flippy floppy screen. But like I said, the GH5 is a perfect all-around camera for you as a beginner filmmaker. Next up on the list is the Sony a7 III. This full-frame camera is a favorite among many cinematographers. I would even say almost half of the filmmaking community here on YouTube uses that camera. 24 megapixels, amazing autofocus. I mean, it's the perfect camera for many filmmakers, and it just might be the perfect camera for you. The battery life on this camera is great. It will last you a full day of shoot, if not more. 4K, 60 frames per second, 1080p at 124 frames per second. It's amazing in low light with great HDR. It's a pretty small camera, however, so if you have big hands, I recommend you rigging this camera out with a cage or a battery grip. The other downside is that it has a recording limit of only 30 minutes, so after 30 minutes, it just automatically shuts down with no warning. And it does not have a flip-out screen like the GH5, so I recommend you get a external monitor depending on what you're going to be recording. It has amazing in-body stabilization, meaning you could use this handheld and still get pretty smooth shots. Partner that with some sort of stabilizer and get even smoother shots. All in all, it's a pretty good camera for its price point of $2,000. To be frank with you, all you need as a beginner filmmaker is a camera that can shoot 1080p at 60 frames per second. Everything else is just fluff. But I recommend you do more research on the kind of camera you want to get, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a big purchase and you're going to be shooting with this camera for a very long time. Those are my recommendations. If you think there's a camera out there that's even better at an even lower price, please leave a comment. Other than that, I'll be seeing you guys on my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.